No, she just updated it, and I did.
That would be it.
Friday's
All
working
right,
that
day.
would be it,
and
'cause I had
then
it
the last
up this
time I went there on a Friday.
So I'll read off of those, because I don't have.
No, I
I'll have
didn't
to
If
look
I
at
can
it.
get it, okay, I hope it'll eventually. I'll kick
Lynn?
out.
Yes.
Do you have a paper copy of the travel requests?
Of the travel request,
Yeah.
just one.
Okay, we're gonna need to probably
If it-
share them because it didn't get put on the work packet.
Is there more than one travel request?
I don't know.
I have one.
Then
A
that's-
paper
then
copy
that's
of one
simple.
travel
That's all we'll
request.
need.
Okay.
All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Board of Works. We'll get started here with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I do want to note that on the agenda, if you've got the board pack electronic copy, the HR travel requests were not on the original board pack list. It actually has been updated, so if you downloaded it before 10 o'clock this morning, those travel requests are not on there. Do you have them, Jeff?
I'm just seeing one.
That's all that's on there.
Okay,
just the
I
one.
got it, so yeah.
Okay.
I got it. It did come up.
So, at any rate, that's item number 15, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Welcome, everyone. I appreciate the support for Justin. We'll get to that in just a moment. For now, let's start with the minutes from the Board of Works from the 10/4/19 minutes. And oh, by the way, let the minutes reflect that Board of Works member George Clemens is absent. Any action today will require 2 votes. So George Clemens is absent. All right, so the October 4th Board of Works are presented, the minutes have been presented. I don't know if you had any concerns. Did you have a chance to look through there,
I
Jeff?
move to approve.
Okay, I would second that. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. So again, welcome to all our visitors this morning. I think we want to exercise one of the things this board does right now, and that's to administer the formal oath of office to Officer Justin Lewis. And let's have you come up front here, and we'll get that oath and take care of that.
I have to work off of these.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, good. Do you have 2 copies?
Just so he does.
All right.
Dual mics, very good. Morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Chance to meet the mayor?
I'm
That's
not.
our first meeting. All right, so again, this is always a pleasure and an honor to bring another officer, a dedicated officer, a trained officer into the ranks, supported by his family, supported by the rest of the department. Again, I'm always awed by your desire to serve the city in that capacity as an officer. I know that sometimes you're not sure what's going to happen when you jump in the car on your shift, and appreciate your willingness to serve our community in that capacity. So, but to do that, we need to get your oath of office, so let's do that right now. So Justin, if you'd raise your right hand. I, Justin Lewis,
I, Justin Lewis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Indiana,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Indiana,
the charter, laws, and ordinances
the charter, laws, and ordinances
of the city of Warsaw, Indiana,
of the city of Warsaw, Indiana,
the rules, regulations, and policies
the rules, regulations, and policies
of the Warsaw Police Department,
of the Warsaw Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the canon of police ethics,
and the canon of police ethics,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as a police officer
as a police officer
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I would solicit your round of applause for Justin. Justin, I'll have you sign this. Actually, you probably should sign on both pages there. And then if your family wants to come up, and we'll have pictures in front of the seal there, I'd love to have you come up and join us. Yeah, thank you.
When I take this to Quick's office and get it stamped, I'll get you a copy.
Here. Who should we look at, right?
One, two, three. One, two, three.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming today and supporting. It means a lot. Very much. All right.
Or do you want to just?
Okay.
One, two, three. One, two, three.
It's all good, Justin. All these pictures are all good.
Well, let's hope so.
Thanks again.
All right.
Nice meeting you. Are you enjoying things?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have a great support you all the way.
Thank you.
Excuse me. All right, there's the extra mic. We don't need that. Thank you all for coming and supporting. Appreciate it. Cap. Very good. All right, Lynn, any reports?
I don't have any reports.
Okay. And there's no unfinished business, so we'll dive into new business. I'm going to be Paula's voice. She has a little laryngitis this morning, so I will present the street closure. This is an event for some businesses in the downtown who are working with WRSW to help kind of kick off their ornament smash and to also light a Christmas tree in the downtown. It'll be Sunday evening, December 1st, from 5 to 8 on the new courthouse plaza. And she's asking, Paula, as a representative of these specific merchants, and WRSW is asking to close the normal route, the normal First Friday cross of Buffalo and Center Street from, looks like 3 to 9. The event will take place, let's see, actually it's from 3 to 10. The event will take place from 5 to 9. So just wondering if you've got any questions or concerns about that.
There's
Yes.
additional, it's not just the regular closings, there's Main Street and South Buffalo Street, the 200 block. Here, you want to see my map? Just so you guys are aware.
I see it on Main, right?
Yeah, Main and Market.
So it is a little bit more
It's a
than
little
the,
bit more,
yeah,
For a little bit more events, those closings.
Maine to Market,
Just the T.
Indiana to Lake. So
The
it's
map
just the
has-
T?
Map has Main and Market and
The standard T, okay, so it is. It will be Center Street from Indiana to Lake and Buffalo from Maine to Market. And that's it. All right, this shows Market Street being closed as well. So that's not, the map is incorrect. So again, I would ask you to note in the notes that it's Center from Maine to Market, excuse me, Buffalo from Maine to Market and Center from Indiana to Lake.
Yeah, I got it.
All right? Questions?
No.
All right.
I move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you.
Joe, may I have my copy back, please? Plus, you can include that little for some stuff, too.
Here you go. You can have it all.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Paul. Cemetery. This is a contract, Hal's not here. This is a contract between Sheila Wenga and the Oakwood Cemetery to redesign the existing tour and informational book for Oakwood Cemetery. This is just design services for an amount $12,000, not to exceed $1,200. $1,200, not to exceed $1,500. And that's coming from the budget in the cemetery, so.
I can't remember seeing something like this. Everything, Scott, we're okay with the agreement and how it works or relationship and.
Yeah, there's an issue had been raised, as I think it should have been.
Yes.
Regarding an employee doing contract work, but we checked with the municipal attorney for municipal law, and we are allowed to do it. It has to be specific what the work is going to be, that it is not going to be in the Parks Department, that it's going to be specifically in the cemetery. That all has to be documented. And again, I appreciate that, questioning that, and then we did look into it, and we got a legal opinion on that, so,
I also called the Indiana Department of Revenue, and they said it was,
yep, as long as everything's documented.
yeah,
And
I appreciate,
the
yeah.
conflict of interest has been,
And I asked Sheila on
Filed.
her bill to just specifically state the work that was being done and who it was being done for. And if those are followed, I think that we shouldn't have any concerns.
As a member of this board, I appreciate the efforts here, and then Sheila, appreciate your work. One department helping another, there's some independence with this, but I think this is a good thing, and I'm glad it's worked out. So I'll move to approve the agreement.
Well, I just want to
Okay.
clarify your statement. It's not
Okay.
one department helping another. It's an outside contractor.
Yes.
As an outside contractor, helping the cemetery. And again, this has all been vetted,
Yes.
all these details have been vetted, and there's not a problem with that.
That's better said than what I did. I was just making the point local
Right.
and working together with the separate agreement. And again, I appreciate all the work, so thank you for the clarification. And again, I'll move to approve the agreement.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Sheila, you want to come up and talk about a couple grants you're asking for permission to apply? First one
Yes.
is REMC grant.
It is. This is the Kosciuszko REMC Operation Roundup Grant. Annually, for the past, I believe, 4 years, we've applied for this grant and received $1,500 in support of the family carnival. And that helps keep the tickets very low cost. We bring in a lot more entertainment than what can be just supported by the ticket sales. So this allows us to do that.
And they've been great partners. RMC's
Absolutely.
been great partners with us in the past, and so, do you have any questions?
No, I move to accept the request.
Okay, I would second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Again, that gives you the permission to apply for that
Yes.
grant for that purpose. And then the second one is the Kosciuszko County Community Foundation, a similar request to
Yes.
apply for the grant.
This comes from the general fund from them through different donors, and this is for $5,000. This helps support the acts, the musical acts that we bring in for the Central Park Concert Series each year. And I believe this is also the 4th year for this one, for this grant.
Right.
To
And you
apply.
use this in addition to the Indiana Arts Commission grant?
That's correct.
To fund those,
Yes,
but this is a separate request for the Community Foundation.
it is.
And again, they've been partners in the past, and
Yes, many
always
years.
appreciate Kosciuszko County Community Foundation and their assistance with these types of activities for our citizens. So,
I move to accept the request to apply for this grant.
okay, I'd second that. Any further discussion?
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. All right, item number 5 is a planning grant request for a section of the ride walk trail that was originally on our Ride Walk Master Plan. There are some opportunities for funding. We need to get a little bit more detailed in the scope of the project and the potential cost of the project, which gives us a little bit more advantage as we apply for these grants. So I know, Justin, you're asking for permission to study the feasibility study for this country club wing here of the Ride Walk plan. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so just like Sheila, I'm just applying to have permission to apply for the grant. So I'm requesting that today. The contract, again, for the feasibility study would come back to this board for approval if the grant was received. The total amount for the feasibility study, just to give you an idea of what that is $14,950. This would, as Joe mentioned, this is part of the Ride Walk Pedestrian Master Plan that was done a few years ago, and it's to look at the feasibility of running a stretch of trail along Country Club Road. This is a relatively narrow stretch of road. There are a lot of people that use it for recreational purposes to navigate around the lake. Having a trail system here would be extremely beneficial to the community as a whole, even to the point of where we could have events or races around the lake. So it is a very nice stretch of our trail system that can be added. So again, this is just permission to apply for the grant. Hopefully we are able to acquire the grant and move forward with the study of this trail. So.
And I wasn't specific, Justin, I'm sorry. It's with the K-21 Foundation, we're asking for the permission to apply for a $10,000 grant with K-21.
Correct.
Right. You know, and something I might add, that's a very busy stretch of road that was, again, identified very early on in our Ride Walk Master Plan. There's a lot of folks that are out on that road that are riding their bikes and I know would connect potentially to our Smith Street Trail and all the way back up to the south side of the lake and over to Winona. I think it's a pretty important piece of the trail system. Again, it was identified early in the Ride Walk Master Plan. It's a challenging section because it's so narrow there. And to be able to look at the feasibility of can we do this and, you know, what's it going to cost? Again, that's our first step is to do this feasibility study and try and understand what the challenges and the costs would be to do that. So I applaud the Ride Walk Committee and the local Velo Club for initiating this. And they meet monthly and we work through, they're charged to work with all the community facets of Ride Walk and help the city, direct the city with infrastructure projects that meet the Ride Walk Master Plan in a prioritized fashion. And again, this is one that I've been expecting to be brought to front and center, and it has been now. So with potential assistance from K-21 Foundation, we'll start to make a move towards that. So, questions?
I move to accept the request to apply for this grant.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion or questions of Justin? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, item number 6 is a similar request for a different trail section, and this would be from East Lake, the trailer park down, that would connect up to, I believe it's Frontage Road. Justin, why don't you explain that a little bit more? This was not originally in the Ride Walk Master Plan, but I think there's been an opportunity. There's some land there that has been offered, I believe, for the city. Why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
So this project wasn't initially in the Ride Walk Master Plan. We do try and stick to that plan as much as possible when considering projects, but this one seemed like a unique opportunity. Lakers and Trust approached this, the Ride Walk Committee to review the potential for a project in this area. The appeal of this project is there's one landowner that's very willing to work with us, and there's a lot of educational opportunities and different aspects to this project that could be very, very good for the city. This is also in an area where there may be different funding options available. So it came about relatively quickly, and we're kind of eager to get an idea of what the whole scope of the project is. So just like the last item we just looked at, I'm just requesting permission to apply for a grant to see if we can, through K-21, or sorry, this is through the Community Foundation, to see if we can investigate this project farther.
So again, this mobile home park is kind of a one-way in, one-way out park, and creating some pedestrian type and ride walk type access out of the backside of that park makes a lot of sense for us as an amenity for the residents. Again, as Justin mentioned, for recreational purposes. The Acres Land Trust, can you explain a little bit about that? That's property that's owned by an organization that sits kind of east and south of the shopping center there.
Yeah, so the hope is that Acres Land Trust is very interested in bringing back native species and preserving land, wetlands and different biodiversity that existed in the state and this region before a lot of the development has happened. So they're really interested in preserving what's out there. So a trail system that was minimally invasive and functioned as an educational resource, as well as creating access to residents of the mobile home park that's down there to commercial opportunities and recreational opportunities is their end goal, and that coincides with our goals as well.
So I think it's a very unique opportunity, and we're appreciative that Acres made that opportunity available to us. I know the Ride Walk plan and the Ride Walk Committee have been looking at this, and I think it's a very significant project that would really open up the trail system to an area that's somewhat isolated, and I think that's a great thing. So I would certainly be in favor of that. Jeff, do you have any questions?
No, I really can. This is another thing. I appreciate all the efforts here. So what exactly do we need on this one?
So this is a $10,000 grant from Kosciuszko Community Foundation.
And that's what we're hoping to get. So we're just going to make those applications for the next round of grants and hope for the best.
And this would be called the Forest Park Trail.
Yeah, it's labeled right now on documents. It's kind of either Forest Park, or because that's the name of the mobile home park, or East Lake subdivision. So right now it's still up in the air as far as the final name. So
Did you say how long it was? I'm sorry, I didn't catch on.
I don't have exact,
Okay.
just because the layout's kind of tentative at this
Okay.
point, but it'd probably be around a mile.
Okay. It's a nice little walk.
Yeah, so, the maps do show it as kind of a loop.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very appreciative that you all are moving forward with this, and I would, again, support permission to apply for that grant to study this.
Yeah, I move to approve the request.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thanks,
Thanks.
Justin. Appreciate it. All right, item number 7 is pay application number 7 for the Airport Industrial Park sewer construction. Jeremy?
Yes, you have pay application 7 for the amount of $649,127.60. This is for the sanitary sewer work out at the industrial park. It has been reviewed by myself and Wessler. This is a redevelopment authority project paid for from the bond proceeds. We are still paying from the bond proceeds at this point. At some point, we'll switch over to the cash. That was a part of the deal for the Northern Tip District. But this payment application 7, Board of Works has the authority granted by them through the redevelopment authority to approve these pay applications that get submitted to the bond payment. I think it's Huntington Bank for payment.
And Jeremy, I always like to just make sure that everyone understands that all this work has been inspected before this pay application is approved, and that has been done, so.
Yes, we've contracted with Wessler to oversee the pay applications and review those pay applications for payment. and verify materials and the pipes in the ground. And we also have Dale with Wastewater's out there helping us with the inspection as well.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve the payment application.
All right, I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. All right, item number 8 would be, again, building and plan, the Tech Park lift station. I think you've got some agreements here, 3 issues that you want to present.
Yes, so the last Board of Works, we opened up bids for the Tech Park lift station. The low bid was G&G at just over $116,000. You have the agreement before you, so we are recommending approval of the agreement so that we can issue the notice of award and notice to proceed. This project, we're hoping to get started as soon as possible because Greenmark will be the end user of that lift station, and they are set to open and currently using water facilities. So the sooner we can get this Tech Park lift station up and running, it'll prevent us from having to do routine maintenance and pumping of their system until we get it up and running. And I think it's about six weeks from start to finish, so we'll hope to have that done yet this year.
So there's a little bit of a time component to this. So item A would be basically to accept the award, the bid.
Yes.
Okay,
I move to accept.
I will second that. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The second is the notice of award. Anything of note on there?
Just approving the agreement so we can issue the notice of award.
All right, questions?
How does he need that motion? What? Just move to accept it?
Move to accept the notice of award.
I move to accept.
I will second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So we've accepted, we've given the notice, and now we're going to give them a notice to proceed.
Yeah.
All right? So, are you good with that?
I move to approve.
I'll second that. Any further discussion?
We'll proceed.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let's proceed.
All right, good.
Did you get what you needed, Jeremy?
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
All right. All right, police, this is an agreement with Pro Air Services. I do believe this is a joint agreement with fire territory, correct? Incorrect?
Well, I guess the fire territory does use the data, but it's in, I guess, an interlocal agreement between the city of Warsaw and the Kosciuszko County government.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the Pro Air.
Oh.
I skipped one. Yeah, we're on number 9 right
This is
now.
actually Mike's baby, but I can go through it.
Okay.
So yes.
It says police, fire
You
jointly.
confused me there. I'm thinking, okay, well,
It's on the agenda under police. too.
on the agenda, I should follow the agenda.
You're first.
All right, the Pro Air contract, correct. There's 2 separate agreements, but we put them under one contract, police and fire. And it's just for our annual maintenance of our generators. I'm sorry, the generators, the air tanks.
Mike, do you want to come up and help?
Yeah, no kidding.
Does the police need help for the fire?
I think they agree, and I certainly know what's going on here.
We've done this every year. We can get right through this.
All right. All right, are there any questions?
If not, Mike can answer those for you.
All right, motion approved.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, let's get out of that one. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next one.
Sheesh.
This is the interlocal agreement with the county.
All right. I can speak to this one. All right, this is the interlocal agreement. It's the same agreement we've had since the inception, since we've combined to the countywide records management system. This is the Central Square Superion Records Management System. $30,000 has been the annual amount. It says in the agreement that it was, subject to change, but it's stayed consistent. So it is in the 2019 budget, and just request, this is kind of the end of year housekeeping as well, because this is a purchase we make at the end of each year, but it is in the 2019 budget.
How long has this agreement been going on? I know we've shared that record system for some time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how long we've had this system. Maybe 10 years, you think?
Okay.
Close to a decade.
It seems to me like the price has been the same for a
It
long
is. I
time
think
as
it's
well.
always been $30,000.
Okay. All right. Questions?
I move to approve.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Chief, congratulations on your new officer today, too.
Hey, thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Congratulations for getting through that second
Yeah.
item.
All right, Jeff, we've got an MOU with School of Warsaw, Warsaw Community Schools for the two signs out on Husky Trail delineating the school zones. There are, I guess there aren't any pictures, but these are solar powered that have a speed board on them that will be erected by the city. The installation is, all this information is on the MOU. And the funds, I know they're not listed here, but they will be coming out of street department funds, okay? So we are splitting the cost with Warsaw Community Schools for these two signs, and then they will maintain the signs as far as, I know there's some flexibility about when the signs can operate and based on their school schedule, so they will be operating those signs.
Yeah, so part of this contract that we have with TAPCO, if they end up providing the signs to us, is for an annual network fee for maintenance of those signs. And they will be able to sit at home or wherever they're at, and they can either delay or accelerate or whatever they need to do schedule-wise for those school signs. So if they have a fog delay, they can adjust the timings on when those will flash and not. One of the big fears that you have is when you put up any type of new traffic control devices, people will become numb to it if it's consistently running. And so we only want it to be effective during those times in which we need it. That way it draws those people attention. We don't want them seeing that all the time. So this program, if they choose to use this in the quote, we'll have it for the first year. If they choose to continue with it, the school system will be able to control when and how those signs go off and whatnot.
So let's just again be clear, these are two signs that are delineating the school zone. This is not the crosswalk sign. This is not the crosswalk sign. It's just the two signs that warn motorists that they're entering a school zone, and they will blink during those drop-off and times at both the beginning of the school year day and the end of the school day. This was one of the items that was discussed during the Traffic Safety Commission as a way to improve safety on Husky Trail. And it's an example of the schools working with the city to come up with one of the solutions. I know that crosswalk sign, they have adjusted the blinking frequency, the time on that. So, we're working through several things, but this is one example, one good example of a safety fix that's being implemented. And I think I'd mentioned there are speed boards on there, so folks also know what their speed is. Will those speeds be visible all day or just while that signal is activated?
We have the choice. So
Okay.
however the school system would like to do it, it can be active all day long or just during those periods. And if they exceed the speed limit, I believe we have choices where it can flash red or different colors to tell them to, slow down and whatnot. And then it will show the posted speed limit as well as the sign that's above it.
So again, we'll work with the schools on, they will be in charge of when those blinkers that alert those to school zone activation is being done. But we'll also have to then work with PD to discuss how we want to handle the speed boards. So, questions?
No. Half of it in item 1,
Yep.
our responsibility, and it's theirs. It's basically,
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then
Okay.
we're doing the installation.
So it's $11,846. So we're looking at just under $6,000 a piece to do this.
I move to approve.
I will second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Jeff, thank you. I know that you've had to get involved with this company. This had to be engineered before we were able to do it. I know it's taken a little longer than we wanted, but and because of those requirements. So I appreciate you staying on top of this, and now we're getting some going. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then item number 12 also involves you. This is an acceptance of a railroad pavement marking grant These are primarily safety markings for the railroad. We've got a pretty significant insert on this project, but if you go to page 10, it'll show exactly where those crossings are that are being impacted. It's Exhibit A on this contract. So it looks like Bronson, Maple, Scott, High, Indiana, and Buffalo, north-south, and then east-west, Lake Washington, Union, Zimmer, Lyon, well, they're mixed in and out. Zimmer, Lyon, Arthur, Fort Wayne, Maine, East Center Street, East Market Street, Winona, East Pope, Ranch, and Dogwood. So those would be all the crossings within the city for both east, west, and north-south rails. Jeff, what type of markings will those be? Will they just be warning signs, or?
They're the RXRs that are on the ground.
Okay.
Those are what we'll be replacing. We did this grant 4 years ago and replaced them all at the same time. And through the winter and different projects, they've faded or gotten worn out. And so this, a few months ago, this grant came up, so we applied, and yeah, this will cover every crossing within the corporate limits of the city of Warsaw.
When will those be done?
In the spring, unless there is a project on a road we're doing where I want to delay that crossing just until we finish. So
Finish resurface, okay,
Then we'll do it to cover that, but.
all right. Questions?
No, I
This is
move,
100% reimbursable grant, and the money's already allocated for next year in pavement markings. And so we'll spend that money and then they'll pay us back.
22,000, yep.
I move to approve.
I'll second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thanks, Jeff. Item 13, this is, will be presented by Human Resources. This is an improvement that will be done in our basement, actually a repair.
Right, so W.J. Carey actually helped us with our server room with some reinforcement water that we had. We wanted to make sure that everything stayed dry. And so we're ready to move into the other part of the basement. And we asked for proposals, and W.J. Carey is the one that responded. You just need permission just to kind of move forward with that.
Very necessary work.
Yes,
Are they doing the, I guess it'd be the east wall
yes.
from the length of the building? Or were they, did
Just
do
a
it?
section, just the one where the, in the main basement area for now.
In the big room where we,
Yes.
okay, all right.
Yes.
Am I reading 70 feet exterior wall, ceiling, and flooring?
Right, so
Yeah.
it actually kind of starts at our server room and goes all the way down until the room with the clerks. Pretty big area.
All right, questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I didn't even realize some of this was going on. So again, I appreciate the administration taking care of this in the building. So thank you. With that, I'll move to approve.
All right, I will second that
Thank you.
so that we can get that fixed.
Yes, yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Item 14, again, Human Resources, this would be a change in payroll for this single request for Lucas Vanderhart, who's changing shifts.
Correct, actually, this happened when I was on vacation, and this is more of a cleanup, just to kind of record it that it was entered in, so in case the State Board of Accounts ever comes in and kind of checks for those records. As you know, Lucas was sworn in, and that was last week's permission, so this is just kind of switching it around.
All right,
Move to approve.
I will second. Further
Thank you.
discussion?
Thank you, thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And then item 15 would actually be our travel requests, which I need to look at.
Yeah, there's, it's also for Lucas.
So he'll be finishing Law Enforcement Academy.
Correct.
Correct. He just missed a day, he needs to go back to make that up.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
I move to accept.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. So there is a special claim, and it's also for Lucas. And this is to spend that money to go do what we just voted on, $30.
I did not have that special claim, so I don't know, I know nothing about it.
Oh, wait, maybe that's not, never mind. Pay no attention to that last
That's
comment.
part of it, yeah, we're.
Yeah, we're okay. No special claims. All right, so the approval of the claims docket,
That would be the docket, yes,
yes.
with no special claims on it.
I move to approve.
I would second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Yeah, that was my error. The
Yeah.
travel request was presented in paper form, which I'm not used to, and it looks like a special claim, so there's no special claim. All right? Okay, anything else to come before the board? Chief?
I do want to mention that Jack Marshall's been with us about, I think, close to 4 years. He's been our part-time parking control officer, but he is basically leaving us to, I think, spend some time with his wife. But we have hired a part-time, or a full-time parking enforcement officer, but I just want to make note that Jack's last day with us was actually yesterday. We're going to be having lunch with him today to celebrate, so.
I thought Jack might be running for office or something. He's a very popular guy, and
Still may, but I think he's in Winona Lake, though, so.
no, I appreciate the work he's done. Sometimes that's not easy job, and he handled it very well. And I knew our newer parking control officer is working into it. We I know, have maybe had a few instances where he's done a good job, but we're just working through just the adjustment and understanding that parking control officer is here to assist with our downtown merchants as well as all of our visitors into the community. So I appreciate everyone's patience with that. And Chief, you working through that with him is appreciated as well. So, anybody else? Excuse me.
I collect parking tickets, and I always thought Jack was pretty diplomatic.
Jack was very diplomatic. He could give you one and make you happy you got it, right?
What's the value of your collection, Dan?
All right, well, we strive to continue that approach, so, but thank you for that comment. Anybody else? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. Thank you.
Thanks for doing all that work.
That looked like a special thing.
Talented. Many talents. Good. It's cool. It's good.
About that,
It's good.
Lynn, I found out after I had submitted my packet, there aren't as many digital signatures on those grant requests anymore. So I have the paper
Yeah.
copy